because I seen the whole conversation. He talked about how he's seen the worst of people, and he's seen where you reading the chats.
Isaiah,
you in the chats
made me laugh because he says, "Did she really just play the Who Hurt You card?" No, I see hurt. I'm being for real. This man is all over him.
What's going on?
All around the world, got your city rocking with me. I'm in every other borough. Let's choppers in the semi with the sun in the eyes.
It mostly involves
like
finances and stuff. But then with having, they're going to talk about this. Like, you paying alimony. This woman has been remarried for 10 years, and you still paying. Yeah, yeah. So this is what. Yeah.
There you go.
So if you so just say, let's just flash back 15 years ago. Me and you were hanging out. We're friends. We're friendly. We end up at a restaurant, and I'm like, man, I'm getting married in 6 months, or I'm about to propose. Would this be something that you would have brought up to me 15 years ago?
100%.
Wow. Okay.
100%. Because if for some reason, your wife decides to cash you out, 18 years, does she work outside the home?
No, that's what I mean. But like, what's the so this is how I see it, and maybe this is very blue pill of me, but my wife has also put her career on hold. My wife has also passed up a ton of opportunity. My wife has also passed up, you know what I mean? Like, she's been the primary care provider, right? So if I were to have a prenup, hypothetically, when we didn't have it.
So Seiko, okay. So Seiko said it can cover whatever you want to cover. So I didn't realize that as a prenup, the child part, I thought the child custody part was totally separate. So y'all gonna make me do some I guess I don't just.
Ain't you so glad we ain't doing?
Yeah, because I haven't really even thought about that.
Because we have friends that have. I know a brother that had spent upwards to 70 grand on his kids to have his kids. Now the brother has full custody, but he went through something for years. I'm talking about not 2 years. I'm talking about for the better half of a decade to get those kids. It can get very expensive, and there are brothers who will contend to have their children in their lives. That's why I hate when I hear people say that men don't want it. Yeah, I know that may be very anecdotal of me, but I can just tell y'all for what I see. And there's a lot of brothers who are in my circle and that I see who are good fathers or seem to be good fathers. They show the attributes of good fathers, and they love their children. So anyways, go ahead.
I'm not even thinking about the child part. I'm thinking about more so of the other financial piece. Mm-hmm. Not saying the child part's not important, but in my mind, I'm still compartmentalizing. That to me, that's so like separate. Like when I hear prenup, I just really think material possessions. Who's getting.
She brought up a good point.
What, but
when people are older and may have children from a previous relationship, you may want a prenup.
Okay. I mean, and that's why I'm trying to really just be open-minded and consider it from, those different lenses.
It's a good discussion.
It is. It's a good discussion
because it doesn't it's not the Bible. Like the Bible didn't come out and say, "Well, you ain't gonna have." But I think anytime you go into covenant relationship with your spouse, of course you need to do it in good faith. But this is why I did the prerequisite conversation of the will, because it's you didn't go into life, you did the just in case. And so while you're not planning to get a divorce, the prenup is the just in case. Because
their perspective. It surely is. Because at first I guess I'm just so old school to where, at first I was just thinking about how it just sounded like it was based on fear.
Yeah.
Like fear of, if it doesn't work out, fear of if the person decides to take all my things and run off, and so it's just, that's where I was heading with it at first. That's just where my mind initially went, just keeping it real. So that's why I was like, okay, I don't know if it's good, but then you think about insurance.
Yeah.
Do you get insurance? I don't know. It's really a.
Well, and I'm gonna share this story because TD Jake said it over a decade ago on live TV. He came home from work some morning. I mean, some day, one of the days when he lived in the backwoods of West Virginia, and he found his wife in the bed with another man. Now at that point, they were still, dirt po. But I'm just saying, I brought that up to say this stuff happens in life. Like while you may love your wife, you may love your that stuff happens, and like in that situation, he had the biblical right to divorce Sarita Jakes, but he did not. Y'all see where they are today. They've moved on, yada yada yada. To God be the glory. But stuff happens. And it's not necessarily that you don't trust the one you're with. You just understand that things can go awry. And so, with that being said, y'all, since that's what I used to believe too, sis, until Jeremiah. Okay, what did he say? He says,
check it out.
but
No,
yeah,
I'm saying I'm gonna check it out.
yeah. But with the prenup, if he had one, that would cover who has primary custody of the children. That would be binding in court. Okay. Good point. Let's continue with this conversation. Thanks, y'all. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all in the chat.
Anything, we built a whole life together. One of the reasons why I'm successful, and I have no problem saying this, is because I have a stable, loving marriage. I don't have a sexless marriage. I'm in an amazing union that allows me to go out and do the things that I'm able to do, make the kind of money that I'm able to make. So why would I not want her to be taken care of, right? Why would I want, are you following along with what I'm saying? Like if we were to separate, like she's taken the bigger L financially in her entire trajectory of her life, has she not married and been a mom and been a stay-at-home wife.
So why don't you just control that? Why are you letting some 70-year-old man determine how much your wife, the love of your life, why are you letting this man determine how much support you are going to give? You're your own man, right?
What do you mean by 70-year-old? Are you talking about the court system? Is that what you're saying?
I'm talking about the judge who's going to put that alimony on you. Why don't, if you're such the man and you love your wife so much, why don't you put in the prenup how much alimony you're going to pay her?
Well, I'm asking these things because I think if someone's independently wealthy, I would be 100% with you. If I'm 30 and someone's worth a couple M's, I would be like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. I'm asking these questions because I'm genuinely curious if you would have given me the same advice 15 years ago as a 23-year-old kid.
100% put zero alimony. And if you guys get married in 18 years and she puts her life on hold and all this and all that, well, guess what? She gets 50% and you get 50%. But guess what you can do, Ruslan? You can send her checks. You determine how much you're going to pay. You determine how many months you're going to pay. You can pay 12 months. You can pay 24 months. You can pay 36 months, 48 months. You can pay 60 months, 72 months. You determine. You don't let some old man in a robe determine how much you are going to support your ex-wife. Right? So there's nothing saying, oh, well, she sacrificed herself for the kids and now, she's not getting any support. No, you support her. The thing is, you're your own man. You're in control of your destiny. So you decide how much you're going to support her.
Of course.
You determine what your alimony payments are going to be and just go from there.
Of course. I think that's fair.
Permanent through the prenup. Is that what he's saying? I don't know. I mean, I know he may mean well in what he's saying, but I don't know. There's just a little bit of
and I see and shout out to Ruslan too. I'm gonna say I'm gonna tell y'all why, because Ruslan, and for those of y'all who don't know, Ruslan is married to a black woman. I know that may be neither here nor there for y'all, but may add little context for some people. For some of y'all really don't care. But listen, he seems like a very stand-up dude, and I've had, little conversations with Ruslan before, and, we text sometimes and all that stuff, but I really think he's doing all of this in good faith, and he's really coming to this conversation like, hey, I just want to know, what is your expertise on this, since you're the law attorney, like you're the attorney, and understand this, they're coming from two different worldviews. Ruslan is coming from the biblical worldview, and he's looking at it as covenant. So this is where I'm going to do right by my wife because she has given up so much. And I think most Christian men worth their salt would feel that way. But he's straight cut though. And I'm not demonizing him for this though, but he's an attorney, and so he's seen the worst of the worst cases. if
But
I
that's
played
what
that,
I want to touch on though, because that's what I was saying. And Seiko, I know what you're saying, that was the best response that he gave. And I'm not saying that it was a bad response. That's not, but that's why I said I think he meant well with what he was saying, but there's just some kind of hurt I'm discerning with him. Like I'm looking at him.
he's been through this too.
But I'm
And that's
just
the
looking
problem.
at him, and I just like, I have some questions. Like I want to know, like you, and I think you answered it earlier, as he say, because that's going to really determine how you're viewing things. Two, I want to know if he's married.
No, he is not.
Okay.
He's divorced.
And I kind of pick up on that in the way that he's responding.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there is an edginess there.
There's a little bite
there's
to
a
it.
little bite to it. There's some bitterness. There's some hurt. I mean, and I know y'all are probably like, you're just looking at a video and you see all that, but I do. Like, I'm really discerning some things with the way he's responding.
Yeah.
And I don't think that he means any harm, but I just see a man who has, like you pointed out, has seen things. He's been through some things, and I'm not taking away from his experiences at all, because that does often shape the way we look at things, right?
Yeah. And I think,
I think we also have to be mindful of who we take counsel from.
Well, that's true. Well, that's true. And I think that's why because see, he's not coming to this man for like spiritual advice. He's coming like the technicalities of the law, like the letter of law. This man has it. And so part of what you also see is that if we were, because I've seen the whole conversation, he talked about how he's seen the worst of people, and he's seen where you reading the chats.
Isaiah,
you in the chats
made me laugh because he says, "Did she really just play the Who Hurt You card?" No, I see hurt. I'm being for real. This man is all
Isaiah,
over him.
What's up, bro? How you doing? I ain't never seen Isaiah before, but
thank you for chiming in.
Subscribe to the channel, bro.
Yeah, but like I really see that. Like if you really just put your spiritual ear to what he is saying, it's like, oh my gosh, there's some deep rooted stuff there. And like Seiko earlier, he was like, as a man of God, like as a Christian, I'm gonna want to do right by my wife without someone having, to tell me. And I think that's what he was trying to get to, but just that whole having to put the paperwork piece to it. Yeah. Like if you're truly and I'm looking at it from the Christian perspective. We're that Christian fam. And so I am. That's the lens I'm looking at it from. As if you're really, in covenant relationship with God and you're really listening, you're going to want to do right by your spouse.
Yeah. No, I get you. Isaiah said you came with that all.
I hate him!
She said you came. Isaiah said you came with that thunder. No, but in all seriousness, it's like, he said, I've seen very itty moms leave with everything. I've seen the worst mothers who don't deserve to have their children end up with children because dudes don't have a prenup. He's seen horrible dads. He's seen grandparents who should have the children don't get the children because the parents are crappy and they don't need to go with the mama. But since she's the mama, she get the kids and she's not a fit mother. He's seen the worst of the worst. And so part of what you see is he's coming with such a conviction because he said he has been hurt, not just personally, but having to be an attorney. He's having to be on the side of the mother, and he's really like logically on the side, personally, emotionally, is on the side of the father. But because he is representing the mama, who is a horrible human being, he's like, this is not right. So that's part of what you see in this. You see somewhat of an anger based on not just his personal experience with it happening in him, but also because of the practices.
And you and Seiko are definitely giving me a different perspective. I'm telling you. You can tell I have not even put any thought to prenups. I mean, I'm just saying because, and based on the conceptual understanding that I did have, I thought that it was really just based on monetary types of things like material. Wow. So that's why I know you keep kind of bringing back the children, and it's been coming up in the chat, but like I literally am separating y'all because I'm like, a child is not material. It's a life.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm like, okay, that's something totally separate. You know how like we go into child custody types of things. I didn't even know that could be a part of a prenup, because it's like that's not the same as the car.
We're talking about a person.
We're talking
here.
about in life.
Yeah, but
so that's why I'm having a hard time.
And that's why you're going to see he advises people to kind of come to an agreement before it goes. Like y'all get in the room together and talk it out with y'all lawyers before it even goes to the court, so y'all can have an agreement. Because if it goes to court, most of the time, brother, you're gonna lose.
Yeah,
you're gonna lose. And I like what Position for Million says. She says, I agree with you. I never thought about a prenup until the person I was dating brought it up, because he didn't have one in his first marriage, so he wanted to get one. He wanted one if he married again. That's a very good point.
And Chelsea had a good point up above too. Right there. That's perfect. She said, these are the conversations us singles need to have early on. And I think that is something important, before you do get into covenant relationship, to really just kind of talk about what your understanding is, what your stance is, and how you view it.
Yeah.
So that's a good point, Chelsea.
Thank y'all for watching. If you like to view the full live, you can click the link at the bottom of this video. And do us a favor. We noticed that about 56% of y'all that watch our videos are not subscribed. So please consider hitting that subscribe button and smashing that bell. It costs you nothing and means a whole lot to us. Anyways, we appreciate your time. Thank you for rocking with us. God bless y'all. Y'all take care.